video for the group Witches of the Moon. Supposed for Friday, and they wanted everybody to do this. Everybody asked each other questions and stuff, just kind of, you know, things that they've been wondering, or maybe other people had asked. I don't know. But these are the questions that I got, and here's the answers, so hope you enjoy. Bye.
Okay, so the first question that I got was from Poe Moonstone. And she asked me, what is your most favorite tarot and or oracle deck that you currently own? And you're at an amusement park. Which ride do you get on first? Merry-go-round, roller coaster, Ferris wheel, and do you take a pill or are you just naturally that cool and junk? Well, I am just naturally that cool and junk. I don't know why you would even need to ask that. I mean, this level of cool and junk cannot even come in pill form because it's just raw goodness. That being said, if I was in an amusement park, the ride that I would get on first is none. I do not do amusement parks. I do not do rides. I get motion sick from riding swings. So I'm the girl that's a lot of not fun to go to the amusement park with because I end up being the girl that holds everyone's bags and purses and hats and wallets, etc. So I'm kind of like a shopping cart. Yeah. So, what is your most favorite tarot and or oracle deck that you currently own? Right now, I would have to say that it's the Joie de Vivre by Paulina Cassidy. It was gifted to me through the Goddesses of the Moon Ostara swap, and I've just really kind of fallen in love with it. It's not usually the style of deck that I go for, but I love it. It's so cute. It is even my stuck. I have messages. I want to get rid of that before I show you. It is, okay, well, okay, it's even my screensaver. Okay, let's skip. My screensaver. I love it. Okay, so the Joie de Vivre, Paulina Cassidy deck right now, and as far as oracle deck, my favorite that I use is the Astrological Oracle, just because I love all things astrology, and it's like the perfect combination. But overall, generally, usually, that's my favorites of the moment. So usually, my favorite tarot deck is my Light Visions Tarot by James R. Eads, and my Lenormand Oracle is my favorite oracle deck. So there you go, kind of two. That's how things go in my brain. So, next question. All right, guys. Question number 2. This question is from Jay, and he wants to know, what is my favorite smell and why? Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on a lot of different scenarios as to what my favorite smell is. My favorite unique smell that seems to be unique, I guess, is I like the smell of skunks, and I like the smell of like clammy, sweaty baby feet. Clean baby feet, like when they've been like yay bathed and then in there with the little socks on all day, and then you take the little socks off and they got like the little baby sock lint between their toes, and just, it's so cute, I just want to bite them. But skunks, I just have always really kind of liked the smell of skunks. I don't know why. I mean, obviously not if it's like in my front yard and is sprayed or something like that. But like, you know, when you're driving and all of a sudden you'll smell like, ooh, I smell a skunk. Most people are like, I don't, and I'm like, ah, somebody pissed off a skunk. So, I don't know, it's weird. I like the smell of skunks. What do you think? Hi. Okay, so my next video, what on my brain? My next question is from Blithe, and she wants to know, I know you have a great interest in astrology. When you first find out someone's birthday, do you analyze them in your mind and see if they match up with the general characteristics? And does astrology carry over into your magic? Such a good question. And the answer is yes and yes. I constantly, if I find someone's birthday and know their sun sign or any other kind of information that would, my hair is all over the place. Any kind of information that would give me about their astrological associations. Yeah, I'm always like, well, that's very Aries of you, or that's you've got, or sometimes I'll even like, they'll do something that's just so cliche, like so stereotypical, Taurus, for example, and I'll ask them like, when's your birthday? And then they'll tell me, and I'm like, of course it is. So the answer to that is yes, I analyze them. I analyze everything, though. It's kind of a problem, so it really isn't that far-fetched to realize and understand that, of course, I'm going to analyze them based on their personality and how it fits into the generalized zodiac characteristics. And astrology absolutely carries over into my magic. It drives me, it's one of my pet peeves a little bit. Like, to each their own, first of all, I guess I should say that. This isn't for, like whatever, this is just my opinion. But it drives me crazy when people will be all about the moon, especially if they're, a witch or pagan or whatever, be all about the moon and just completely disregard all the other planets. There's more than just the moon out there, people. So, yes, astrology does absolutely carry over into my magic. I am constantly paying attention to whether or not the moon is void of course, what planet is visible and when, what sign, what planet is in, how they all are working together to have a positive outcome, so to speak, or working against for something. For example, if Venus is retrograde, then not gonna do some love stuff. So I have this nifty little thing, which I highly recommend for everybody. You can get it on Llewellyn's website. I think I just saw it. It's like $3, people. It's super cheap and it's amazing. It comes with the weekly. See, I've got things highlighted and stuff. Yeah, maybe I'll do a different video on that. This thing is awesome. I love it. Anyways, so Blithe, yes and yes. Okay, my next question is from Lisa, and I really love this question. She asks me, what did you want to be as you were growing up? Okay, when I was really little, I wanted to be a princess. And then I got older and realized that's stupid. So I decided when I was in high school that I wanted to be a forensic technician or a mortician. I thought it was really hilarious because when I was in my anatomy class, we dissect 4 cadavers, and I loved it. We had people that were like throwing up and falling out and just like, ugh, they just didn't like it. And there was me and one other girl actually. She wanted to be a mortician and I wanted to be a forensic technician. And we were the 2 girls and we were the only ones, so we were like all about it. We loved it. We were like, yeah, today's cadaver day, woo! I don't know why, I just really liked figuring out, it's my dog's yawnings, that's the sound that she makes. I just really liked figuring out how things worked. It was like a puzzle, and you could piece it all together, and it was kind of like reversed divination, because you had to use these tools and things to figure out what happened in the past in this traumatic situation. So, I don't know. And that was before I even, labeled myself as a witch. Yeah, so there's that. I wanted to be a mortician or forensic technician. So, what did you want to be? Let me know. Okay, this question is from Evonne, and she wanted to know, do you think that there is some truth to every religion? Why or why not? Dun, 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 dun. This is a very controversial question for me. Disclaimer, this is my opinion. Oh, there's my phone. This is my opinion. So take it or leave it. Take it as an opinion. So if you don't like it or if it offends you, I'm not meaning to offend anyone. This is just my personal opinion. So that being said, I do not think that there's truth to every religion. I think that there is truth and purity in everyone's beliefs, but I do not think that there's truth in every religion. And especially if you're going down to details and or like the slight variations of each specific religion. Like, for example, you have Christianity. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Yay, go Christianity. But then you'll have things where, like, if I meet someone and, they are followers, I don't know, I really don't know a whole lot about Christianity as far as details and, like, the inner workings of it, of the King James Version of the Bible. It's a little bit, like, twitchy for me because it drives me batty, because that was literally a version of the Bible written by King James. Not a prophet, not a, holy person, not a, I speak to anyone, just a king that was like, we're going to change some shit. So, here we go. Again, my opinion, ignorant opinion, take it for what it is. That's my opinion. So, is there truth in that? I mean, it depends on your definition of truth, to be honest with you. It's probably King James's truth, but in my opinion, no. And you can say the same thing, I'm sure, for, different traditions of paganism or different traditions of Wicca or, any religion, probably. But if you get down to the meaning of religion, which is actually belief, because a lot of people will take religion and then your belief comes secondary, and to me it should be reversed. Religion should come secondary to your belief. So as far as people's individual beliefs, I think there's truth in that, because you can't get much truer and authentic than your beliefs. But religion, no, I don't think that there's truth to every religion. I just don't. Sorry. Good question though. Okay, this question is from Natalie, and she wants to know, do you find that as a military wife you have to hide your practice more from other military wives? No, I don't hide any aspect of myself, take it or leave it. The only time that I will kind of like cover things up is if I'm in a situation to where I know that it would probably be judged, which is not that big of a deal to me, like judge away if you want to be a downer like that. And I would reap negative consequences from that. Like I went on I actually went on a job interview one time. This was years and years and years ago. And I actually wore a cross because I knew that it was a very Christian place. Yes. And I made sure to, not that I was being phony or false or making fun or anything like that. It was just, it was a representation to let them know that I'm a very religious person. I'm a very spiritual person. Regardless of what that is, doesn't really matter. And I flat told them, that I think that, religion should be, because it was for a hospital, and I felt that religion should be more open and welcome in the hospital environment because people are in pain, people are hurting, people are dying, people are sick, and your beliefs or faith is comforting. So I was all for it. So, no, as far as the military life, no, I haven't. I mean, Wicca is, it's my dog. Wicca is a federally recognized religion, and it's recognized within the military. My husband even has that labeled as him for his religious status. Because not that him or I are Wiccan. I'm pagan, obviously. I won't get into like the nitty gritty labels, but I'm not Wiccan. He's not Wiccan, but it is the only pagan-esque federally recognized faith. So his is pagan just to let people know that he's not Christian, so like when he dies or if he was to die, while deployed or something, like there's no need to bring Jesus into it, basically. So, good question, and no, I don't think that I have to hide myself any more or less than I do in a regular day-to-day life. It's really not ever been that big of a deal. Luckily for me, I guess. I've heard a lot of horror stories, but in my world, if it's come up, it's come up, and I'm honest, we move on. Thanks. Okay, my next question is from Trena, and she wants to know, has it been difficult to keep yourself grounded and focused on your beliefs being a military wife? And on a lighter note, how many tarot and oracle decks do you have now? Okay, you are sneaky lady because you know that it has been very difficult for me lately to keep myself grounded, and that's my phone, ignore it. Grounded and focused. It's extremely difficult for me to stay focused just anyway, because my brain goes like 100 miles an hour, with all different, I've got like 10 things going on in my head all at the same time. So I'm really scatterbrained all the time, so it's hard for me to stay focused. My phone just will not stop ringing. Okay. So yes, it's extremely difficult for me to stay focused. Grounded, not usually. Usually I'm pretty good with that. Here recently, there's been like the perfect storm of stuff that has gone on in my life that is just got me spread really thin, and I had a really big blockage in my spirituality that I just could not grasp and could not figure out how to get it gone. I figured that out, and maybe I'll talk about that in another video. But yes, it has been difficult to keep myself grounded and focused on my beliefs. Being a military wife, I don't even know that it's necessarily as a military wife, more just as in right now, because normally it's not. I get to travel all over to different places and see different things and learn different cultures and connect with all different types of nature that a lot of people don't. I grew up in Germany. I had, all of that type of environment and, green and, lush and the I think it was the Black Forest and it was just amazing to have that opportunity. And then Kansas, meadows and prairies and farms and cows and that whole lifestyle, not lifestyle, environment. And then Hawaii, tropical and beaches. And I mean, I've lived all over. Those are only 3 places that I've lived, but so I think it's been a bigger advantage than it has been a disadvantage. But the disadvantages that I'm experiencing recently, or was experiencing, was really frustrating. And how many tarot and oracle decks do I have now? Well, I just ordered 2 more, so they should be here soon. I got the Transparent Tarot on its way and the Illuminati Tarot that's on its way. And I believe that will make 27, I think. 27-ish. Yeah. Good questions. Okay, this question is from Erin, and she wants to know, do you own a witch's hat? If so, do you make it or buy it? If not, what would you want your hat to look like? This one I thought was interesting because I really didn't know what you meant by a witch's hat. Do you meaning like the stereotypical cone with the brim? If so, I have one that I wear for costume, like for Samhain or Halloween. It's got feathers and I bought it and it's cute. But as far as like legitimate like rituals or spell work or practices, I don't ever wear it. I'm reading the question here. What would you want your hat to look like if I had a magical witch's hat? I would want it to look like the sorting hat off of Harry Potter. Hello! He's fantastic and grouchy, and I love him. And he tells you stuff. So I think that would be cool to have. And he looks adorable. I would just have him on a shelf, and he could shout rude things at people, and it would be fantastic. So, hope that answers. Next question is from Nimbus River, and he wants to know, a lot of us know that your mother is a witch. Did you find your way to this path because of her influence, or did you find it on your own? Well, that's kind of a tricky question because I didn't grow up really with any religion, or I grew up with spirituality, but I didn't really grow up with any religion in my household. My dad is Catholic. My mom is pagan. She went through her journey. I mean, she's always, I think, been a pagan. But she went through her journey of trying to, experience and try out different religions to see if they were a good fit for her while I was growing up. So I was the first one to kind of say, hey, I think that I'm pagan. And then she was like, ew, what's that? So technically, label-wise, I brought the label into our family. Tootsie, what are you doing? Cover your hiney. Jeez. Tootsie, what are you staring at? What are you doing? She's so weird. But that being said, I think that my mom's spirituality is what had me open to anything and is what let us fit into that kind of category of pagan. Because me and my mom we have a lot of really similar beliefs and we have a lot of different beliefs. So, which I think is like anybody. I don't think that I've ever met anyone who has been like, oh my gosh, we believe the exact same thing. I don't know if that would be like, I'd be super weirded out if that ever happened to me. I'd be like, no. What about this? So there's just so many different things that especially I think paganism just kind of encompasses, because it's almost more than a religion. It's a religion and a lifestyle, or a, spirituality and lifestyle, because it bleeds off into so many different aspects of your life. So I think that my mom has always been a pagan, and she just, after I found the actual definition of it, is when she was able to label herself. And the same goes for me. I went on my spiritual journey, my fool's journey, and this is where I ended up. So I found, I guess, so to answer your question, Nimbus, I found it on my own through her. So yeah, that's it. Okay, this question is from MelaDee, and she wants to know, when in a relationship, how important is it to you that the other person have the same spiritual path or beliefs as you? Do you think we, as witchy folk, should tell the other person right away that we practice the craft? Good question. I do not think that it's important for you to both be of the same spirituality or religion. I think it's almost better if you're not, because it's fun. It's more fun. My husband has his beliefs. He was, he has his Christian background a little bit, I guess you could say. But he has that surfer guy lifestyle mentality, respect Mother Nature, and you get what you put out, and karma, and you should always respect the planet. And so there's a lot of spirituality with him. So I don't really know what he would classify himself. I know that for the military purposes, like I said in a previous question, he's classifies himself as Wicca, because it's the only pagan-esque label you can do within the military. But because he doesn't want to go to church, he doesn't have anything to do with that or anything. He doesn't diss it or anything. But so I don't think that it's important for you to have the same spiritual path or belief as your partner or significant other at all, as long as you have mutual respect for each other's practice. That is the most important thing. I think that for it to work out, you should respect the other person's beliefs, and you should also take an interest in them. Just like with anything else, if it's a hobby or anything, ask questions about it, be interested in it, learn from that person that you care about. And do you think we as witchy folk should tell the other person right away that we practice the craft? Again, all of this is just my opinion. So for me personally, yes. Because me personally, how in my life and how I've gone, there's never been a reason for me to not be open and honest about anything. So I think that it's important to say right up front, because my faith and beliefs bleed out into so many different aspects of my life that there's no way that I could just hide it or have it not be surrounding me all the time. I think it's only fair, because there's a lot of people that are closed-minded or don't understand or afraid, or families and friends and stuff that just wouldn't want to deal with having a witch as a wife or a significant other. So if you say that up front, then guess what? They can decide right then and there. I wouldn't be like, "Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Amie Webster and I'm a witch." Nope, I don't do that with regular people. So let's see how things go for the first week or the first date or whatever, and then we'll go from there. Common sense, I guess. Just use your common sense. When it's appropriate, spill the beans, if that's your thing. I don't know. So that's what I think. Okay, this question is from Tequila, and she wants to know, when performing magic, do you really feel the flow of energy? And if so, where do you feel it the most? Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's more of just a mental thing, to be honest with you. My hair is this too much. If and when I do feel the energy, I really feel it in my eyes. I know it's kind of weird. Actually, I don't even know if this is weird or not, but there we go. My palms and my groin area. Sometimes really in my throat too. So I have no idea what that means. And sometimes it's like just electricity that's kind of like, ooh, you know how you get that like, ooh, chill and you get goosebumps. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like an external thing, like you know when you're really cold, like you're sick and you have body aches and stuff like that, and you're just like your bones hurt, and then you get into a really hot shower and you're just like, ugh, it's so nice. Yeah, sometimes I feel it like that too. Usually if I'm putting it out there, like for someone else, it's in my throat and my eyes. Almost always my eyes and my palms though. So, I don't know. What do you think? Let me know what that's supposed to mean, if anything. Okay, this question is from Bay Moon, and he wants to know, if you could only ever have access to one book. What are you doing, Twitchin? One book forevermore. What would it be and why? I would have to say some sort of a mega awesome astrological planetary, like something like this that would be massive for like 1,000 years or something. That or my Book of Shadows, which I don't really call my Book of Shadows. I do sometimes, but regardless, that's a different thing. My Book of Shadows, definitely, absolutely. And then the planetary guide, one of those, because that would keep my brain active and my spirituality active, and I would be able to grow and kind of, I have a starting point that I could like through my life, since I have no other booky options. Yeah, so my Book of Shadows, definitely. If not that one, if that's like cheating, then some sort of a planetary guide almanac type thing. That would last me for a while. Not like just 1 year, because I hope to be around and alive for more than 1 year. Oh, my little doggy. My little doggy. Let me show you. There's a little dog. Look at this little cricket face. Oh, goodness. Okay, with the licks. Okay. This is Cricket. And she wants treats. She wants me to have my Book of Shadows also. So, yes, what would you have? Okay, finally, last but not least, we have a question from Alex. How do you deal with the day-to-day life as a witch of the moon? I think that he means being part of the Witches of the Moon group. I hope that's what you mean. Or do you mean as a witch? How do I deal with the day-to-day life as a Witch of the Moon? I think that it's, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to answer that, I guess, because the support system with everybody that is a member of the Witches of the Moon group is so phenomenal, and everybody's so kind and understanding and has such a great amount of knowledge to share that it's great. I mean, day-to-day life as Witch of the Moon, I'm a sub-host, I guess, so maybe that makes it a little bit less stressful because I don't have to do a video every week. Like the regular hosts, I fill in for Poe. So I don't know, I guess I enjoy it. How do you deal with the day-to-day life as a Witch of the Moon? I absorb and enjoy. Alright guys, that's all I got. So many blessings. Bye.